What's up, y'all? Welcome back. I apologize about that. We had some sketchy shit just happened. But, let me get things back off the ground. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, see people come back around, and we'll get a little bit of work done, yeah? There we go. Once again, sorry about that. Yeah, we had some quite sketchy shit happen there in the last couple seconds, so I had to do an abrupt reboot. Let's see if everybody finds their way back. Oh, shit, man. Might take a dab in the meantime, right?
You there?
I'm here, bro. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Because you were like, hey, do you know? I'm like, no. I don't know anybody like that name.
Oh,
Just surprised though, because well, fucking Smokey's live and Joe Walsh and fucking Slay and everybody's over there, So I'm like, who the fuck would come and porn bomb Lonely, you, me, and fucking Hoss?
Dude, I was gonna say, man, my neck of the woods isn't nothing that great. Shit, I'm just building up what I'm doing now.
He must have been getting ready for fucking the big leagues, right? Like, hey, I'll go stop by the local bar and flash them real quick and then run down the street to the big place.
Hey,
I'm
but,
just like, oh, shit.
but to keep things how they run here, I got a zero talent policy for that shit.
I just wish there was a way that there was once, I don't know whose stream we were on, but they're like, all right, we're going over to so and so's stream now. And everybody
Ah,
that was on StreamYards could stay on StreamYards,
yeah,
and they just took us over to the next stream.
yeah.
So we all didn't have to leave and then rejoin. It was like they just, they ended the stream, restarted the stream, and we didn't have to do anything. We just
See,
stayed
now,
right there.
that, I have no idea how to do that.
I don't know. It might have been when it might not even be StreamYards. I know
Hmm.
people were fucking around when they found out how much StreamYards was increasing their rate. Many people were investigating a few other things, and they could have been one of those. But at the end of the day, I mean, you technically could use Discord and
Yeah.
use OBS and have your video chat room, that link going through OBS onto your YouTube. It's a few steps, but it's
Yeah.
free. You know, I
It
mean,
sounds like
it's
it's
just,
worth it in the long run.
I heard some outrageous prices. It's expensive to have 10 or 12 people on this StreamYard shit.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the ones that pay the good money, my camera will allow me to go to 1080. Where, like,
Yeah.
normal, the free versions and shit, it'll only let the camera go to 720,
Oh, shit.
which is fine. I like free.
Well,
I've been
yeah.
using I've been using Discord for, I
Uh,
mean, we beta tested it. So we were
oh,
the
yeah.
first kids. We were the first kids through that place and fucked it all up, right? Just like all the
Oh,
drama
yeah.
and porn bombing and shit
Yeah.
here. We were all doing it there first, right? But that's why, like, some of these guys, I know them, right? But I just was I didn't see anybody that we normally. Well, it's still, or well, shit. It's early still for some of us.
Well, shit. That's what I've been wondering. Where
It's
the fuck is
midnight,
everyone?
but MCF went late. He was on late.
Is he live?
Not yet, because I think what he's doing is he's doing like the 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning East Coast. He's catching that morning crew on their way to work or coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's throwing, like, I know Marissa was working today.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that they're just starting to roll out of bed now, right? You know, it's midnight here, East Central time. So I'm assuming, because, like I said, that's Smokey is working. Joe Walsh is shit-faced. Red Z and most of those people are all there.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, for some lonely person to just fucking porn bomb us, it's like, why?
I don't get it. Then again,
I guess you're important, dude. You know it's we had in my trucking world, there's this guy that he'd jump up and yell the N-word all the time. And it became, once this guy would sneak onto your StreamYards and yell the N-word 50 times and then leave, it was like, once he did that to you, it was like you had made it in YouTube. You know, it was like, I guess, like they say, like, you're not anybody until somebody's made a troll account of you. Unless, you know, you haven't made it unless you've been a troll account or porn bombed and that. So I guess congratulations are for you. You're official now. You've been porn bombed. So
yeah, but how do I say it? There's two different types of fame, though. There's different types of fame. There's fame where I might be coming across a lot of that and a lot more views, but there's also fame where it's going to get me a lot of business opportunities in life. And if that keeps happening to me, I'm not going to reach that fame with those business opportunities, which as a tattoo artist is what I'm going.
That's I've seen they had StreamYards and shit. There was other ones that for certain amounts of money you pay, they give you the porn blocker. I think I don't know if MCF used that when he wants shock jocks up. He wants shocking people up on his panel. People like Nikki that will, you know, just lift their shirt all the time, right? But upset the crowd enough that somebody will pay $20 to time her out for 20 minutes in the back room. And she's dumb enough to sit back there for 20 fucking minutes and wait to come back up and do it again. So he puts that porn blocker over her. So she can do that all day long. There's a screen over her, you know?
Well, yeah. At the end, how do I say? At the end, why would I want to deal with a degenerate like that, you know?
Oh, that's the thing, you know? Well, exactly. I mean,
I got something to prove in this fucking world.
You just like to sit back and smoke with a small little group and talk about things.
But
you guys dig shooting the shit about the games, the video games and stuff.
But what I'm doing in the meantime to really feel that, all that conversation, the real reason why that interactive conversation is helping, because the whole meanwhile, I'm actually getting very detailed work done. With the brain damage I have, takes a lot of energy I don't always have. So during that, you know, it's a miracle if I can even get that done, let alone deal with some dipshit that feels like doing this or that, you know?
We thought it was... We never did that. I mean, again, the worst the guys were doing was jumping up and yelling, you know, they drop the, you know, the N-bomb and then they'd leave. Nobody thought about going on and you know...
That's what I mean. That, you know, when I was even a teenager, even in that day and time, whatever you want to call it, that behavior would have been considered morbid, sick. You would have been fucking looked up and put somewhere.
Oh, degenerates, right? Yeah. But again,
well, nowadays, Not even that.
Well, now again, we're in the land of no accountability. I mean, again, driving the semi trucks as a kid or as a child, I just fucked around with the CB radios, and then I was a semi truck driver, but I knew how to troll. Like you'd be at a truck stop where people are sleeping, right? And people would talk at night in the parking lots, and you would, people don't get along about. We were doing exactly what everyone's doing here. It was like, everybody from all around the world, whoever was sleeping in that truck stop that night would be fucking laughing and joking or telling each other to go fuck themselves but if you got caught running your mouth, you were getting your ass kicked. So now it's just kind of, I can't, again, if you're my arch enemy, what am I going to do? Fucking spend my hard-earned money, fly out to wherever the fuck in the world you live, beat the fucking shit out of you, and then go to jail,
Just to prove some dumb point.
Get sued, and then eventually I'll have to fly the fuck back here. And what? Yeah. So once I learned that enough, like 1,000 times, right? Yeah. I just was like, I could flip the switch off. But it doesn't make me superhuman. Just like we all know, there's days where, like the other night, had jumped up under my skin a little, and I just
it can happen,
kind of let them know where I felt, but
that's my fine line of not going too far with people, but also noticing YouTube shenanigans,
Yeah, I don't, I keep it short and sweet. I'm an easygoing guy. It's hard to piss me off, but when you do, it's short and sweet as well. It's like, look, dude, I don't like you. I'm not going to make a big fucking deal out of this. I'm jumping off panel. Everyone have a good evening. And I left. That was it,
I feel that 100%. If I don't do that to begin with, I can actually land in the hospital.
Yeah, you get the wrong vibes. I've had panic attacks sometimes.
Not even just that, dude. The cyst in my brain, if my brain gets stressed enough, that cyst can swell. Do anything. I land in the hospital and they have to do surgery on me.
Yeah, I don't like surgeries anymore. I'm tired.
I've had fucking brain surgeries. PTSD is a run in the park for me.
Your soul says, hey, man, whatever the fuck it takes to not have any more of those, let's do that. And that becomes your reality. That's what I'm learning to live with, man. I was 45 when I fucking had half my lower spine fused together and was permanently disabled then.
So
this lovely little eye patch and rheumatoid arthritis and shit. That's just been the last 2 years. I mean, fuck, right? You come in, I don't come, I hit old age like a wrecking ball, right? But fuck it. I figured it like, hey, I got a warning to fucking fly straight, or you're not going to make it to fucking 60.
So that I am already in my mid-20s classified as an Alzheimer's dementia patient.
That runs in my family. And that's what I'm afraid of too.
But that's something that happens to people during their what? 80s, 90s?
I've seen advanced. I've seen it happen in young. It's rare. Even Bruce Willis.
But then again,
young.
I've had 14 brain surgeries, and there's an orange-sized cyst in my brainstem still.
They just like the guy, the retina dude, right?
Right.
The surgeon. He's like, look, man. He's like, even if you got here 10 minutes after you had that fucking stroke and we knew you had it, there's nothing we could have done about it. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you had a clot in an artery that's smaller than a human hair. He's like, he's like, we're just starting to have the technology to make an incision that fucking small and bypass around something. So to do a bypass. So it's like if you're in a stroke, if you have a clot, they'll if they can get in there, they'll bypass the blood around it. So but they're
It's
like,
just as ridiculous.
they're like, it's the size of a human hair.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing, was to go find out if you've got more and what the fuck caused it. So that was why I was there for 5 days. Was the usual suspect wasn't causing my stroke. It was a. Have you ever heard of an accident? Is a series of events that lead up to an accident, and that's exactly what the fuck including 2 packs of cigarettes a day.
Understandable.
Nowadays, if you get some vaccinations, whether it's for whatnot, it will come with a hefty warning that says it could increase the risk of stroke. It says, and it doubles the risk of stroke on the side of a pack of cigarettes. I have a blood disorder that I was given at birth from not only my mother, but my father. That's how rare that fucking is. You'd be better off getting hit by lightning or winning the lottery to get that fucking double dose of shit that I got. But that makes you 10 times more likely to clot. So then the oncologists that came in, right? Because they're like, we can't figure out, your heart's fine. We can't figure out how you had a fucking stroke. And you've got another fucking clot down in your left leg. I'm just like, oh, well, I had some varicose vein shit done, and I had the COVID vaccine, and then I have this. And then the oncologists came in, and they're cancer doctors, but they're also blood doctors, right? So it's oncology and hematology, or hematologist, right? This guy's got a bunch of fucking names. But he found
I know, it's fucking ridiculous.
He's like, your shit was a perfect storm. So he's like, I'm surprised I didn't see you with people like you. I see in their early 20s that are having the strokes. You made it to 54. He's like, I suggest you quit smoking cigarettes. And he's like, you're on blood thinners forever. So when I had a shot of whiskey on blood thinners, I was fucked up because I was on blood thinners, right? Your blood's already thin. So that alcohol hits it like racing fuel. So that's why I was like, I can't handle alcohol. I can't handle tobacco. So I'm like, shit, So I'm like, what about marijuana? They're like, oh, no, that's fine. They're like, that's okay. They're like, we prefer you have edibles, but the way you're doing it is perfectly fine.
That's right, man.
That's how I am, man. So I'm retired. My wife is an educated woman. I worked my ass off while we put her through school. And then when she got out of college and all that other, with her master's degree, shit started happening. We were unable to have children. I've been married 31 years. I'm 55 years old. I'm retired. My wife works from home. I stay up here and stay the fuck out of her hair during the day.
I feel that.
I've been around the world twice. I don't want to make a third time because right now it costs a lot more. It's a lot more dangerous to see the same shit again. And so I'm perfectly happy in what's almost paid off, that 30-year fixed. You always hear people say, well, I'm 25 years in, so 5 more years, this will be paid, and all I'll be making is my twice a year tax payments and until I die, and then my wife and my cat get my kingdom.
I feel it. Shit.
I'm just passing time, man. It's just that's why I like positive people.
I feel that. I really do.
I mean, nobody will argue you're a good kid. I know you're a man, but my old ass, you're a good kid. You're good.
I'll agree with every word that's said. There's much in this world left for me to learn.
I've never seen you do dick things to anybody. I've seen you two sit here for fucking hours upon hours just shooting the shit.
Well, I can tell you why. The true nature of the brain damage going on is when I go to that level or use the IQ that I have left on that, it hurts, man. And then I don't have IQ left to do what I truly need to do.
Yeah.
And it's scary. You sit there fucking either walking in circles or you drool on yourself. Literally, man.
I can't. Yeah, I know the drooling part because they'll put you on medications where it's. And my cousin passed away. They didn't do an autopsy, which meant that they know what he died of. And he was in chronic pain all the time. And I know that I know that he was on the transdermal fentanyl patches. And you put one of them on 10 minutes too early, and it'll fucking drop you dead.
That shit's nasty, man. That's just no fucking joke.
Well, I was on that for a few minutes until my soul said no. That's why,
I'm sorry.
Marijuana.
I'm sorry I haven't said much, gentlemen. I got I got a text message from my sister, and she gave me some bad news. So I'm just processing everything. My mom's not coming home.
I'm sorry, man. I know that feeling. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you a hug, bro.
I'm sorry to hear it, brother. I really fucking am.
It's okay, buddy.
Did you know it was gonna happen, or
no? She moved out of state, and she didn't tell me bye. And she told everybody that she was going to come back for the people that she did tell, but then she told my brother that she's not coming back. So
can I say something if I may about this woman? She really scrapes the fucking barrel and wins an award for all time fucking low. I'm not even shitting you. Yeah, having known this woman for a little bit, yeah, it's that.
So she doesn't want to come back home.
I don't even think it's her. Honestly, I think it's her girlfriend, bro. Her girlfriend. She only known her for 5 months, and she's already out the whole way.
I thought your mom was dead, dude.
Nah.
Well, I'm just saying, my mom died. I remember that shit, dude, losing my mom like that shit when you said that, dude. And I was like, oh, but now I can still understand the fact that your mom basically is choosing someone else over the family, right? I'm just trying to put some pieces together quickly.
Hoss, if I may, you got to know the mindset of this woman. I mean, she doesn't get the fucking picture.
Right? Oh yeah, but like basically, her mind is, I want to be happy. She's like, I want to be happy, and whatever it takes for me to be happy, and then so be it. So that being said, she totally blew off
raising you, and now she wants to live for herself.
Yeah, I didn't have my mom my whole life because she was a really bad drug addict for 20.
So did you live with your grandparents?
I was adopted by my grandparents.
Okay. I know many. Same situation. How old's your mom, if you don't mind me asking? Is she like mid-40s?
She's 40.
I'd say it might be the midlife crisis kicking in.
Because
I bought a Shelby Mustang, right? She might want to hang out with her girlfriends. My sister's the same way, right? She takes shit that my fucking my niece raised she raised her younger brother, right? Because again, drug It's a hell of a thing, right? Anyhow, I've seen that shit, dude. First up and first so many places. First and utmost, thank God she's alive, okay? Because at first I thought you're like, she just got a text message that she's not coming home, and I'm like, that one hit me like fucking. That just was like, hey, remember? My was 15 years ago. My mom passed. My sister had an eerie way of reminding me. She took a picture of my dad as he was taking his last breath, and I lit her ass up. I'm like, that's fucking morbid. I said, I don't. Dad, ever fucking show me that? Delete it. I'm like, you're fucked up. But nonetheless, you know, moms. If she's 40 years old, she's just, you know, met her best friend or whatever the fuck, right? She's like,
it's her love interest.
That's okay. Well, my buddy lives in here's funny. My buddy lives in South Africa. Same story, right? You know, gets divorced, right? And then dates and gets married to a woman. And the woman hates the one, you know, tried to get him killed a bunch of times, right? By paying for the bed and breakfasts in the bad shit areas of Johannesburg and shit like that. And well, anyhow, they got divorced. And the funny shit now is that they're actually on a list to become refugees here in America. They're going to become American citizens because there's a current situation going on in South Africa. But that's just kind of funny, right? You know, it's like, you know, the guy's going to become, you know, an American citizen in a time where we're kicking everyone out, right? But I know that story too much too, though. But it's the same age, so it's that same. So I get that, man. So I'm thinking that hopefully she'll come back to reality a little bit. Now, does the love interest not like you or the family or anything?
No, the love interest is one of them people. They're like, it's got to be all about her, and like she's like
center of attention.
Center of attention, yes.
Okay, not ready to share. Now, how long has this been? Is this like a coming in hot like a meteorite hitting Earth's atmosphere, or is this been a slow roll?
She flew her out here after 5 months of knowing her.
Okay, so this is a meteorite coming in so fucking hot that it hits the atmosphere and explodes before it ever even hits the Earth.
Yes.
So you know, it's not a threat; it's a fling. I would say that from statistically speaking, of shit I've seen and read. I mean, as far as not penthouse forums, but documentations. Yeah, dude. Again, women have midlife crisis, and I'm sure. Are you the youngest?
Nah, I'm not. My little brother Jesse is the youngest, but he's 16.
Oh shit! Well, he's not out of school yet, so then I can. That's not a good mark on her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like if all the kids are fucking out of school, out of college, and it's like, okay, mom and dad are getting divorced, dad's buying a Porsche and dating somebody half his fucking age, and mom does the same thing now.
No, Smoke. I don't mean to say this like this, but I've been telling you what Smoke's saying for a long fucking time now. And you're hearing it from somebody fucking else, dude, that has seen this woman's situation.
I don't know you. I just know situations, and the older I get, I hate to say it, but the faces are different. The stories are the same. Mm-hmm. You know, there's only so many episodes of Jerry Springer you can watch. The pattern of
fucking literally, dude.
Right? It doesn't mean
stereotype.
It's you know, I mean, it's like, unfortunately, civilization raised us to do certain things. Originality has been, you know, done. I mean, look at Hollywood, dude. What was the last movie that hasn't been a remake or of a book that's a million years old that somebody found? Everything's played the fuck out. So everybody's, you know, maybe just trying to be original, man, nowadays.
We don't set a bar for judgment for change anymore. That's completely out the window.
Imagination's been taken, I think, and replaced with the virtual reality. I mean, simply put, as a child in 1977, when Star Wars came out, I had for Christmas the Millennium Falcon, and the figures would go inside, and you would fucking be flying, and then my brother had the TIE Fighter. And you're literally having fights, in thing, little Star Wars, little.
I still have my Lego sets from growing up.
I don't think we have that anymore.
Yeah.
I still have my Star Wars Legos from growing up.
I still got my set of Lincoln Logs. I got all I got all of my original Transformers action figures.
The original ones, yeah. And they were, it was just funny shit because now my younger brother was getting those toys too, right? And some of them, just as the older brother would look at me, that's some cool shit. But we played with our toys. We broke our toys over the years, just being used.
Crazy?
They often made shit to last too.
I did not know that the remote control drones and helicopters existed until like 4 years after they came out.
You remember? It was on strings. It was like kite strings, this handle, a plastic handle with strings, and they reach out to this. It looked like an airplane. It was an airplane. And it had the aileron up and down and shit. So you would twist it, and it would make that thing go up and down, but you had to spin it around in a circle. But you had to fill it with fuel, get the battery up on the little engine, prime it, and then, it didn't do shit other than make a lot of noise and get you dizzy.
Smoke, did you ever watch them drone races?
Nowadays, I've seen one go up against a Formula F1 car. These things are fast now. The drones nowadays. Yeah,
I seen this one guy go through an obstacle, and he's like zinging through windows and shit. I'm like, holy fuck!
Remember the Empire Strikes Back when they go onto that little planet with the little furry dudes, the motorcycles, the speeders, That's what I keep thinking, that the drone, those little fucking, because that's what it's going to, right? Because that's some.
Speaking of that, they just made the first hover bike. So this bike, when you hop on and drive it, it goes like maybe 90 feet in the air.
Yeah, okay. Because that's, unfortunately, we're never going to have the Jetsons, at least not for I would have to say the next, to play it safe, I'd say 100 years. You'd say that's crazy, but
Japan already has the technology for that shit.
We could do it. The car would have to hover, right? Like, as in like some kind of an anti-gravitational something, right? Because the noise is too loud. The Amazon drones that drop your packages, the rotor wash is blowing the packages away. So it's like they're loud as fuck. And so there needs to be, but even then, I don't think at first we're not going over 8 feet. Simply, and we're going to still follow roads. So, for instance, if the fucking highway is closed, you can all go drive around Farmer Fred's field and get back on the highway and continue.
Or just pull the lever up and fly up over.
Right. Or we can go up and over, right? Like, where it's I just have a feeling that if you just we're having a hard enough time with our fucking airplanes right now. They're crashing into each other. It's too crowded. The skies are way too fucking crowded. Yeah. Air traffic controllers have been the most stressed out job. Yeah. And the technology costs so much. And that's why the FAA always drags their heels. Because Boeing was self-governing itself. I mean, because you're inventing shit like that.
Yeah.
So, how the fuck are you supposed to have a contractor come in and look at it? Hey, what is it?
They got
Okay.
a bunch of. They made a bunch of cool shit over there in Japan. They got a Lamborghini helicopter. They got a fucking.
They're gonna crack the batteries. Watch.
They got a car that when you drive it into the water, it transforms into a boat.
They're gonna crack the battery. They've been fucking secretly working on, because that's our problem. That's like going light speed. You know how like theoretically, we're at that theoretical level right now with the batteries, because like anything more and they blow up. You see it all the time, dude. I've seen them bring airliners down. I mean down, because they're in the fucking luggage compartment, boxes of these fucking things. And if one goes off, we don't even know how to put them out. I've seen a fucking Tesla on fire in a lake. I've never seen anything like that other than when diesel fuel lights up, right? It's just like, huh? So there's too much.
Yeah, and I don't like how they have them self-driven taxis now. They're called the Tesla. They're called the Tesla e-cab.
They just recalled that Waymo or whatever that fucker is. They said they just had to make a recall of like 1,000 or so of them. I'm not in my lifetime. I'm not getting in unless I'm in lanes that are only allowed for automated shit. I won't get in one. If you're going to have us all I don't give a shit. A computer is never, it's going to understand how we think and act and react, but the spontaneity, it cannot tell. So like the first Tesla, when it was the autopilot, it didn't know the difference between the distance of a tractor trailer, which is the tractor that then gets hooked up to a trailer, and there's a big distance between the wheels. It thought that was a gap between cars when it killed the fucking driver. Trying fucking, I remember anti-lock brakes when those hit the scene. They were not what they were cracked up to be.
This one of them Tesla cars out in Arizona.
They're bad.
A kid got in it, and it fucking clicked the autopilot mode, and the fucking Tesla was just driving around the desert with the kid in the car.
They weigh so much that when they hit those barriers, the wires and the safety barriers and shit, these things snap through them like a semi-truck would, because they weigh so much. I've seen nothing but horror in those Tesla trucks. I've seen a few of them hit a tree, and unfortunately, they explode. You don't have much time from the time of flame to the time of just explosion, and nothing can put it out. So those things have taken, they're strong as shit. But if you can rupture those batteries, so that's the Japanese have been secretly, tirelessly working on battery technology, and I feel that they will come out of nowhere again and crack that code.
Did y'all hear this? So like they're working on like a new source of energy. So they're trying to build a nuclear battery that's so big that it can power like 5 cities.
The Chinese just lit up some reactor. I want to say it's like thorium or something. I can't remember. There's a lot. There's like, if we were to build brand new nuclear reactors, we can use different shit. That if it exploded, it wouldn't matter. You could dance around underneath it and go, there's no harm to it. You could take that use that in space to launch rockets, because if it explodes, it's I don't want to say it's yellow cake or something. There's ways to do it now where it's smaller and more effective, but there's different reactors as well, and the Chinese are fucking around with this stuff and they're making it work.
The Chinese have a nuclear bomb.
They've got
that literally could take out the 18 cities.
I could imagine. We now go smaller though. I've heard of one that's so devious that the Israelis. Okay, I'm sure we followed that, not to get too deep into that, but anytime the Israelis were going to blow up a building, they would litter the fucking place. They'd go over with airplanes and helicopters and drop flyers that would say, in 3 days' time at 12:30 p.m., we're going to blow up this building. And they did that. They did that the whole time. They would call everybody in that fucking apartment building and say, "Hey, we need you to get out of there. We're going to blow it up in a few hours." You know what I mean? Now, I've heard that there's nuclear bombs that are like a bunker buster. It goes in deep, and it's on a timer. It basically is, hey, we just nuked you. You have however long you set that timer for to surrender. But if you try digging closer to it, guess what? It knows that, and it will fucking boom. So it's like you can nuke somebody, right?
Hey, brother.
Say, you just lost. You literally just fucking lost. But you can give up now, and we'll diffuse it, and we won't make it wrong. Or you can have everybody, all the innocents.
They're gonna strike me for this.
So the innocents can get away, but they're
going to strike me for this.
But the yields are getting small. They're getting better with smaller yield tactical nukes. But
I honestly don't think you'll get a strike for this, Johnny, because there's they just made a lot of. They just made, for example, the new movie from A24, Warframe. They have body cam footage on the movie.
Awesome. So there are people who have gotten governmental permission. I am not those people.
Have you seen the tungsten?
I'm sorry, buddy.
I am a YouTuber.
I had they made my I bought a tungsten necklace as I got tired of the gold always stretching and the silver and shit. So I'm like, oh, that's a cool necklace. And they're like, yeah, it's made out of tungsten. And the fucking cost more than a gold necklace did, right? And because it's so hard to forge it and shit of that nature, right? But then what was it? Was it one of the Spider-Man movies, where they drop the rod from space and it comes in and it hits the Earth?
Sure.
If you dropped a tungsten rod from space, right, like where satellites hang out, it opens up and it drops just a titanium rod. And I don't even know how big. Maybe the size of the length of a bus. And you just drop it. When it comes in and it hits, it does way more damage than a nuclear missile or bomb or anything else. There's no trace, and there's no radiation, so it's
smoke. They're gonna strike me, man.
We can talk about the weather. It's clearing up soon.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah. Oh, dude. It's been fucking muggy here, dude. You want to talk about fucking thinking it's Florida and New York?
Whereabouts in the world do you live, John?
Oh,
Where do you live in the world?
I'm in New York.
Oh, okay. So you've been getting a lot of the rain, the moisture.
Yes, sir. Shit.
I don't know. Hey, Smoke.
Yeah.
Did you hear about what happened in PA a couple weeks ago? Pennsylvania got hit with a really big storm.
Oh, well,
And 400,000 people did not have power.
Oh,
that's not good.
And 4 tornadoes hit.
oh,
But the weird part is, when a tornado hits in PA, they only last for like 45 minutes, and then they distinguish.
disperse.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with the Johnstown area, but that was
Yeah.
where my
Johnstown. I'm like 40 minutes from Johnstown.
that's where I'm Pennsylvania Dutch. So that was my family reunions and shit that we had always growing up were always there, and I was always reminded of the Great Flood and whatnot.
I'm from Indiana County.
Okay. And then the rest of my family lived in Toledo and Maumee, which was Lucas County in Ohio. But I always remember the road trips on over to, and then we moved out to Naperville when I was real young, 3rd grade. So we'd always do the road trips across. And then nowadays, it's funny, in hindsight, it was, I could get there and drop and hook a trailer in Toledo and get my ass back home in the legal amount of time allotted.
You know what's crazy? Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh cannot make up their mind. The Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium has had 3 different names. When it when it was first built, it was the 3 Rivers Stadium, and then they tore it down and rebuilt it again as Heinz Field, and then they tore it down and rebuilt it again as Eric Hughes Stadium.
Oh, that was like how they do that out here. It was the World Music Theater, and then it became the only people banks. It was like the Chase Bank or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Oh, the Chase Bank Arena.
Yeah, it's all that's it's like the mega money is the only thing that could put a name behind these stadiums now, because I think the White Sox are looking for a brand new stadium for baseball, and the Bears keep threatening to leave Chicago and go to Hawthorne Park, or just a suburb. I can't remember. It was an old horse thing. I'm drawn. My mind is hitting the. It's not Hawthorne Park. It's that was the name of the racetrack, but real estate's hard. They're not going to knock Soldier Field down in Chicago.
Do you guys watch any racing?
F1 or NASCAR or motorcycles?
Honestly, brother, out of all the racing that I've experienced in my life, the most fun to watch is racing on a dirt track.
Sprint cars.
Oh, yeah.
I love that shit. We have it's actually racing season here in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And then in a couple weeks, Derby season begins.
My buddies used to. It was funny, right? Because you think of like the fancy fucking big NASCAR shit and that. My buddies like, yeah, man, I fucking he's like, I race on the weekends. And I was thinking, I get this mental picture. He's down at Grundy County Speedway. And you go there and they've got the fucking regular, the big league class cars. And then he's in this little fucking Dodge Neon. It's all stripped the fuck out and shit. And I swear to God, dude, 15-year-olds that don't even have a license yet are tooling around. Just, it's like everything's slow motion. But he fucking loved it, though. I mean, you get there, it was the atmosphere. It was like everybody was having a good time. And, you don't want anyone to get hurt. But it's like going, the food's good, but the fucking racing fuel, man, it's like got this odor that's intoxicating.
I love racing, bro.
It's just, yeah,
I would honestly get into dirt track racing if I could learn how to drift.
What do you want to drift?
Like
rear wheel or front wheel?
I
was a sloppy drifter. I was always good in the video games because I always drove. I know how to break the wheels loose on the ass end. My way of doing it is putting the accelerator to the floor. So as the horsepower ripping you loose, you're going into the turn. And then you just let off the accelerator and it kind of grabs. I don't know. I can't.
Last year, I was at the races last year. Car came around. The car was gone like 100 up the straight track. He hit the turn. He drifted that fucker, and the car went up. The back end of the tire went up over the track, and it fucking just flew.
Front wheel drive, I guess you're more or less using the e-brake to get it going. And then I guess because you're getting pulled. So you're just, most of your drift is just constantly just pulling the brake, right? I don't know. I never dug that. I'm more the old school, like an 8-cylinder compared to a 4-cylinder that's got an exhaust system on it, right? I'm like, what's that? I'm like, that thing sounds like it's got pop cans. Like, what the fuck are you talking to? I was like, you're missing fucking like half an engine. But that was when it first hit. Now and then, the appeal of being able to take your laptop, plugging this thing in, getting turbos and shit, and making the ultimate sleeper that from 0 to 60 is going to smoke your ass. Well, until the EVs came out. Now the EVs, there's nothing touching these things. Big Daddy Don Garlitz, is that his name? This motherfucker's working on the drag car, the long drag funny cars that going down. Battery operated, right? The EV. So he's trying to work on the top speed. That's the problem with these cars, that they can get to a certain speed, but then that's it.
Yeah.
So like Porsche is fucking around with it, and I still think that I like the hybrid. I like maybe a little motorcycle engine that's charging batteries. Or, you've got 2 sets of batteries.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
But the electric motor, the 0 to 60s, I mean, the 0, it's just nothing can, the instant traction, all wheels grabbing at once.
Oh,
the only other acceleration is the motorcycle. And I've seen 2-wheel drive on them now. So it's the front wheel is a motor and the back wheel. So when they gun it, it doesn't just flip you right up and over.
You guys know what the fastest. You guys know what the fastest car in the world is right now?
Mm.
The Bugatti.
Yeah, the Veyron, or
it is the Bugatti Chiron Sport. It goes 304 miles an hour.
Now what's Force, the stock car? What's the name? The John Force, or the Force fucking his daughter, Brittany, I think it is. She drives the top fuel dragster fuckers and shit, dude. I think she just broke the fastest, like well over 300. What's her name? Brittany Force? Is that her fucking name? I think so. You should check that out. She just might 310 or 315 miles an hour.
That's like almost the speed of sound.
But that's what I'm saying. That's like, I'm surprised there wasn't a fucking, because NASCAR can't go any faster. There's certain tracks in the circuit that if they were going currently, even 10 years ago speed, they go in these turns so fast they black out. It's like a fighter pilot. You know, you hit too many G's, they're out cold. So they had to focus more on the safety of the vehicles.
Yes.
That's that's why we're trying to get rid of the drivers in the F1 cars.
You know what? You know what's even fast? You know what's crazy fast? I don't know the exact jet model, but one of the jets can go like Mach 12.
Oh, those are the Scram. Those are the fucking hypersonic missiles and shit that we don't have. You know, we don't have, right? But we do have YouTube footage that's like, I don't know, fucking 15 years ago, where they showed one on a sled out in the desert somewhere, and they had to slow this thing down to the slowest of slow. And even then, it went by in the blink of an eye. And if you can find the video on YouTube, I swear to God, the fucking video is like, I want to say 12, maybe even 16 years old. And they're showing you that from that long ago. I mean, Putin used 2 of those during this little conflict thingy. And they're fast, but we can still get them.
Yeah, them fuckers go soon.
Yeah, they're not because what they call them initially, where they were the ICBMs. They got to go high.
You know,
and these don't.
Do you think it's possible to like make
to ride that ride
to make an aircraft go hyperspeed?
I think you absolutely can. I just don't think you can ride it. I think your brain, where literally the front of your brain will be pushed so far back, even in a straight line, that you are going so fast that I hate to, for a better word, you would need an inertia dampener. You know, I mean, something is, because if you've got something that's going in a straight line and then all of a sudden stops, and like the UFO shit that we see, how it goes and just goes another direction, there's nothing human in that. Because that Dale Earnhardt in NASCAR, remember, he hit that wall at a certain speed. That's zero. That's that's like 80 miles an hour to zero instantly. And that took the back of his brain and put it to the front. So there's some of these rides, you couldn't accelerate slow enough to achieve that speed still without killing you.
That's crazy shit. That's that fast.
That's that fucking fast. Now, you know, those tubes, right? You know, we're like, okay, here's the thing. The wheels, right? The wheel. We've made a wheel go as fast as it can fucking go, to where it's its own resistance. That's why we're into that maglev shit, right? Where we're using the magnets and shit, because there's no there is resistance at this point. And the resistance is air itself. Have you seen that Richard Branson thing, right? So he take a maglev train, put it inside of a tube, and suck a few atmospheres out of that tube, and then see how fast that fucking train will go. Because there's no resistance. If you get rid of the resistance, right? So the interior of this train has its own oxygen, just like an airplane does, blah, 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 right? But suck out all the atmosphere and get rid of the friction, and the same maglev train is going to go infinitely faster. But if you rupture that system, that pressurization, the shock wave from beginning to end would kill anything in it. So even 100, 200 miles away, somebody got in a car accident and I don't know how they did it, but they ruptured the tube. So suddenly, pressure's equalizing out. Now, I've seen deep sea divers that breathe in pure helium, okay? Because they put them in the bottom of the ship. So at night, that little bell gets stuck at the bottom of the ship because they're not going to keep depressurizing and pressure. So they keep them breathing pure helium. They talk funny. Like when you take helium, they said food has no taste. It's all fuckered up, right? But for like a week, they're in this fucking thing, right? It's got its own little beds and shit and that, and they pass their meals through, through the airlocks and shit, and then they go back down, deep down, and they can just get out and do their work and shit. Well, there was a time where one of those sealing procedures, when they were docked and getting ready to let them out, something fucked up. And it took them through, I want to say, a hole about this size. I'd say about this fucking size. And it took 3 men and it put them through that hole and splattered them on the other fucking side like that. That kind of pressure difference. So it's the submarine, right? That one down there. That one that fucking, that thing, it imploded. They're like, before you implode, you boil to death because the air inside gets out so quickly.
Have you ever heard of the Byford dolphin incident?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this what you're talking about?
Well, no, not that one.
I was going to say something similar happened with the Byford dolphin incident, yeah?
The one, I think, the one he's talking about is the Ocean Gate.
Right.
Well, I'm saying something similar happened with this other scenario. Yeah?
Yeah.
If I'm correct?
Well, anytime, that's the thing, is that it happens so fast that the water at such pressures can come in through a pinhole.
Yeah.
And it will literally boil the air, the friction, right? So it's just submarines, right? And all the horrible. That's why I'm like, no, I won't.
So eerie. There's really nothing left.
Ocean. Fuck the ocean, dude. We don't know shit about the ocean. We really don't.
Mike, my buddy Mike's gonna be calling me in the morning, pissed off.
You know more about space, right, dude, than the ocean.
The Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavaliers lost tonight.
Oh, the NBA.
Yeah, and the Timberwolves beat the Warriors. So whoever.
How are the Bulls doing? Anybody following the Bulls? Are they even playing anymore? Are they even a team? I don't follow none of that shit anymore.
Yeah, the Bulls still play. Right now, for the conference semifinals, there's the Timberwolves and the Pacers, and then the winner of the Thunder and Grizzlies will play. Oh no, the Thunder and Nuggets, Denver Nuggets. Will play the Timberwolves, and then the winner of the New York Knicks and Boston Celtics will play the Pacers.
The United Center wasn't even built when, I can't remember. I'm going back to when I was able to actually go to fucking basketball games.
LeBron is retiring after next season.
Michael Jordan still fascinates me. I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, speaking of racing, if I'm not mistaken, did he not buy an F1 team, or was it NASCAR?
Yeah, I think he did something like that.
He's an owner of a team, and I don't know.
Do you know Shaq owns
He owns a lot of shit, dude.
Yeah, he owns like everything, bro. He owns like all the restaurants.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. He's a fucking very rich man.
He owns like 255 Five Guys restaurants.
You know that general insurance that he's always doing? He owns that insurance company. And shit. So it's yeah.
So technically,
That's what I like. A lot of people are like, well, that guy only had a career for a certain amount of time. I'm like, it's in the fucking merchandise, man. Nike Air Jordans. That's special about Michael Jordan, like his mom. His mom was like the best negotiator ever, really. It was like
Shaq makes a good bit of money off of all the stuff that he owns, but where he makes his main money now is broadcasting and doing DJ.
Does he?
Yeah, his name is DJ Diesel.
Good on him. It was a magic time in the fucking 80s. It really was to live in Chicago at that time. The Bears won the Super Bowl, and then once they fizzled the fuck out,
my grandma was born.
Took us through.
My grandma was born the same year as Michael Jordan.
Your grandma?
Yeah, my grandmother was born the same year as Michael Jordan. 63.
I don't know. Wow.
1963.
I've met him a few times.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
How tall is that man?
Golf. Well, to me, he's tall. But White Eagle golf course. A bunch of mansions surrounded, right? And many of my friends, the neighbors, we would sit out in the backyard when they'd have those closed, the whole fucking subdivision's closed and shit for the weekend and stuff, and they'd have a bunch of people playing. But yeah, White Eagle golf course. And he looked over at us because he could smell what we were smoking.
Michael Jordan
kind of looked over and was.
Michael Jordan's $3 million mansion is on the.
Sold. It just sold.
Oh, it just sold
within the last month or two. Because it took a hit because he had it too specialized. It was too customized to him. So that's what they say a lot of times is a lot of these fucking custom freak mansions that they end up taking a huge loss on it. And Jordan's fucking estate was a perfect example of that. He didn't get as much. He took a fucking loss on that. But it's gone, right? It's not his anymore, right? Doesn't need to fuck around with that. But he is, again, dude, I mean, the money that he made, the money that he continues to make off of everything merchandise. I mean, it's just fucking brilliant. And he's not stupid.
If LeBron James wins one more championship, he'll be better than
Michael Jordan. I hope so. I hope so. In a way, because, records are meant to be broken, right? When humanly possible. And, I thought that, Kobe was going to be the next. So that was just tragic.
Yeah.
So, it was just, Yeah.
LeBron is 40. LeBron's 43 years old and still playing basketball.
The fact that they could get back together again after years and fucking still fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you want us to come back and and they did. They were like, please stop. You guys cannot be together again because nothing can stop you.
No.
It's illegal for you to be a team. But nowadays, nobody's a fucking team, right? Nobody. Even if you win next year, they just trade you off. So there's no real fucking team at all, other than right then.
I was just talking about that recently with the fucking NFL. At this point, everybody's been on every fucking team.
Yeah.
Johnny, speaking of the NFL, brother,
Yeah.
the Jets, the game 1 of this year's season, the Pittsburgh Steelers play the Jets.
Fuck yeah. Oh, dude. I saw a game here recently.
The Packers play the Bears. Virginia McCaskey just fucking died too, dude. I mean, her son and shit, right? It's been running stuff, but her father was the Heisman, or no, the Green Bay Packers, the Hollis Hall or whatever. Yeah. That was that. Yeah, there was just a powerful family, but nonetheless. I was like, shit, dude, he was over 100.
Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to sign Aaron Rodgers within the next 3 weeks.
Remember Terry Bradshaw? Or he's still old, Terry Bradshaw. He was the Pittsburgh Steelers when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw was Pittsburgh's, in my opinion.
He was the golden child, man.
Pittsburgh's best 2 quarterbacks, in my opinion, ever. Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger.
Dude, I mean, Brett Favre, dude, I don't give a shit what anybody says. I mean, he was loyal, and he could fucking throw a rocket.
Yeah.
It's the good thing I'll ever say about Green Bay ever. Well, just because the rivalry, right? It was a fun rivalry, the Bears and shit. And even when I was driving a truck up to Green Bay, I wear my Bears jersey on the weeks we were. And I could eat shit just as much as I give shit, so it was fun back then.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Not like a Blackhawks game. Now, I've been there, and like after halftime, people are beating the shit out of each other in the fucking stands, dude. They're just fucking lit.
Oh, fuck. That sounds like a good fucking time.
Oh, and Pittsburgh's playing a game in Dublin this year.
They've been doing that a lot lately. I think the fucking Bears or something. Every year there was like this year it was in overseas. They play a game now.
We are going to
trying to get football over there now, or
Pittsburgh.
What the fuck are they going to call it then?
Pittsburgh is playing the Minnesota Vikings in Dublin, Ireland.
American football, right? That's the only way we're going to be able to ever fucking classify it. Because soccer has tried so many times. I loved it. I grew up left wing, right wing, center, goalie, you name it. Traveling team. I kicked ass on that more than I did in football. And then in the winter, I was a swimmer. So that's why I was a jock in high school and shit, dude. I picked on the stoners. That's why it's funny now that I'm a stoner, right? Because I'm just like, I make fun of myself all the time.
I played football, basketball, and baseball.
I loved sports, and to sit and watch fucking baseball, I couldn't do it. That's why I could never get into the Cubs and shit. Football, at least I was like, I could at least watch it, and I understood the tailgating was more fun.
You're gonna love this story, Smoke. Our baseball team, my last year, we was a runner-up in the championship. We lost the championship, but we were a runner-up. So the 2 teams that were in the championship game got free tickets to Pittsburgh Pirates game. So Our team went down, and I met this guy that his name's Brendan, and I looked him up on Instagram, and he hangs out with Brett Favre, goes golfing with him. And hangs out with Jerome Bettis, Antonio Brown, and he gave me his dab pen, and he's like, "Here, hit this." I'm sitting there in the Pirates game, and I smacked that pen, and then I go sit down, and about 20 minutes go by, and I forget that I get so high, I forget that I have a chew in my mouth. And I'm sitting there drooling, fucking sitting there, and fucking, I'm stoned as shit sitting at the Pirates game.
My wife's friends growing up, moved to Tennessee, Nashville. And they're in pharmaceutical sales and shit. So, you know, they're another one of them big White Eagle fancy fucking things, right? So we're there, we're shooting the shit, right? Then we go to the baseball game. And dude, I can't remember who the fuck I'm drawing a blank on the league, right? It's fucking Michael Jordan again.
Oh shit.
It was when he was I can't remember the name of the fucking team, dude, but he went to go play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And Cassie and Leland, they're divorced now, but oh yeah, dude, they fucking knew him. Like knew him. And you know, it's like, hey, do you remember 3 fucking stoners all the time every time you played at White Eagle?
Fuck yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just funny shit. You know, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's not like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not starstruck, right? You know, I'm just like, hey, how you doing? You
It's
seem
just
pretty
a
cool.
fucking trip.
Yeah, I'm my biggest fan there. I remember I used to get the fucking shirts, right? The jerseys. And I got the one I was nervous about was Devin Hester. And he got traded off from the Bears. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I going to do with this now? I'm like, I'm not going to fucking wear it. And then, dude, he came back and was a Chicago Bear. I think they benched his ass the whole last part of it, but he retired a Bear. So I'm like, I'm never fucking getting another jersey again. The ones I got an Urlacher, I got Peyton, Hester. I got a Ditka.
Oh my god.
I don't know, was it Butkiss? I think so.
You know, you know what my top 3 prized possessions are?
Mm.
I have a premium condition Shaquille O'Neal rookie card from the Orlando Magic. I have 3 Dan Marino rookie cards. And I have a gold edition Michael Jordan rookie card.
I don't have shit. I sold everything for drugs as a kid growing up.
Oh shit.
No, I'm just kidding. I got a shit ton of Beanie Babies, like garbage cans full of them. I love them motherfuckers, dude. And used to use them all the fucking time. And so occasionally I'll let people come over and, you know, make me offers. That and some of my vinyl I've been parting with. I think last time I checked down in the basement, we're roughing in about 300 to 400 pounds of vinyl. And I do like some of the turntables. Let's not call them records or record players. Now they actually have some pretty fucking decent sounding speakers built into them. So it'll be a really nice turntable. And then the speaker system, and it's all amped together. Pretty fancy like, right?
Fuck yeah.
You know, you
So
can get.
I have parted with some vinyl.
You can get custom made vinyl like things now. Like they do tie dye record tapes and like.
We used to take wood glue. You ever seen wood glue? Like I wouldn't say Elmer's, but wood glue. And you have to tape off the center label and make the hole, right? But then you take a brush and you turn it on an old shitty turntable, right? You know, and you just kind of brush it on, and then you let it sit and harden, and then you peel that fucking shit off. It'll pull every bit of dirt, and it'll fill out scratches and shit, dude. They got it on YouTube, and it's pretty. I've done that a few times.
You know what I miss?
It's fucking old shit that I never thought I could get back, and I did.
I wish they still had jukeboxes in the bars.
my father-in-law had an old Wurlitzer from the 50s. And then
shit.
even from the 50s that I had, do you ever remember the sitcom Happy Days?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Fonz? And you remember how he goes up and he hit the jukebox and it would start playing music? Well, my father-in-law has one of them. Now, he's 83 years old, right? And some of this shit has found its way here, but some of it never will because it would cost more than my house. So he's got like a lot of old games, dude, from like the 30s, the 1930s, you know what I mean? Yeah. Fucking old original shit, right? That he's now starting to part with. And it's funny because some of the people that he got it from, it's like, oh, my grandfather, you know, and that, you know, used to own this antique store and shit, you know, and now, so yeah, he's made quite a bit of cash just literally borrowing some of this shit. He's got an old Whizzer. I don't know if you like the pre-Harley Davidson days, you know, like, you know, they looked like Pee Wee Herman's bicycle.
Yeah.
And it had a fucking motor in it. And that's your first fucking motorcycles. They were called Whizzers. And dude, he's got one that's fucking brand new. Like is in it's millions of dollars. Because it's an original. It was never used, but it was original. Like, you know,
in peak fucking condition.
It was never used.
Yeah.
It's like finding, like, you know, I've seen some of these old, like they'll put shit in bubbles and fucking suck all the air out of it. And like, you know, 50 years later, they're like, look at this. Yeah, he's made his money. And then my sister's husband's father, he was the big wig for Sears, and he would buy all the fucking Star Wars toys. It was Kenner. I think it was Kenner back in the day, and Hasbro shit. But I thought it was Kenner that made all those toys. So down in his, it looks like a library, but instead of books, it's like, you know, 5 Millennium Falcons still in the box from 1977, you know, the X-Wing fighters. He's got fucked up dolls that, you know, like Boba Fett, the Boba Fett doll, the actual red little missile on the back would shoot out, but the kids kept getting hit in the eye and shit and fucked up shit. So they had to recall him, and he's got really rare shit, and he's in his 80s. And so now he goes around to all these Star Wars conventions where all these nerds that think they know what they're talking about with shit. And he'll unload some of this shit on them. And they'll be like, oh my God.
Here's the thing. A lot of our generation tends to forget the Star Wars originally came from like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah. 1977, I think, was Star Wars.
70s.
So that was, you know, the books were out before then. yeah, dude. He goes, but he's been getting rid of it little by little, right? Like, you know, John had to figure out how to get the, to get the shit up on eBay and stuff, right? You know, or you know, how to take some photographs of some of the shit, even with the Beanie Babies, dude. You know, you don't. You know, I've got 5,000 of them. No, you just put a few of them up, you know, and you put them for sale up on eBay. You let people bid for them.
Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised what collectors would pay.
Gives me shit to do now is sell that stuff. But the rest of the shit, nah. When my mom and dad died, my brother's got kids, my sister's got kids, so I don't have any kids. So all my place, I should have gotten a lot of everything, and the good shit. I'm the firstborn, but I would have just been a holding spot until I die, and then they got to come. So I was like, come and get all this shit. So I'm like, no, my brother's got all the tools, the grandfather clocks, all that shit.
Yeah.
Me, I'm more like a minimalist. In fact, I'm not. This fucking table back here, dude. My wife had this in junior high school. This fucking table. It's older than you. I mean, some of the shit is just, they don't build shit like that anymore.
No.
That's the thing. So it was, because again, I mean, when the fucked up shit is, I had this house built in 2000, so it's 25 years old. It'll be paid off in 5 years. But I've been hanging out with this one guy, and he's living in a house that's over 100+ years old, right? And it suddenly, dawned upon me that this house, if properly kept up like I have, I put, this will be the second roof, or the second roof that's been on it, new windows, new doors, all of that shit, right? But then eventually I die, right? And a new couple comes in and they keep it going. I wonder how many generations will live in this. When you're gone, right? So it's just little shit that when you get older, you got time to reflect back on some of it, and it's a cool thought.
Well, of course. I mean, your future generations, say if they take this into content as well into their hearts, will be able to have that same experience from the other end. Be like, wow, this was all the way back.
100 years old. Somebody will come in and go, this house is 150 years old or some shit.
The very wood beams, the very structure.
Yeah. I don't know. It's, I mean, dude, you become mortal.
Yeah.
And the sooner that you realize you are, the more things become quality over quantity.
Yes.
And that's where, I'm at. I mean, it took the stroke to basically fucking knock me down a couple pegs. I've made good decisions in my life and shit, and I was a bit cocky about it and shit. So I've been humbled. So.
Oh, likewise. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do I say? That very concept right there has taught me to be kind to others, be courteous to others, and be merciful to others.
Yeah. But see, hopefully what we've done tonight is we've distracted the great Hossius from his earlier. See, he's like, you know what? You're right. I haven't fucking thought of that in 2.5 hours. I thought it was because you wouldn't shut the fuck up. But see, I've always got, I've got stories. But see, now I made you think about it. So see, we're right back to where it is.
I don't blame you.
Isn't the brain fun? The chemical computer that we're trying to mimic.
Oh, yeah. No.
I know. Huh? I was just gonna say, I know. The next game I'm gonna buy is probably gonna be Doom Dark Ages.
I've been seeing shit. I've got a Discord room that I've had for 14 years. It's very small, and all I do is, lately, since I retired, I've got little sections, and like gaming is one of those. So I've been keeping track of some of the gaming, and Doom has been coming across.
The same guy from the 90s Doom is the dude from like the newer. So when he first started out, he was a human. Then they put him in that big machine, and it gave him immortality and god powers.
What year was the first Doom? I remember playing this on a head-to-head, and I don't know if it was 2 Commodore 64 Gold editions head-to-head, playing the same. We both had to have the same, or was it the Apple? I can't remember what. It was not a PlayStation. It was not a Nintendo. These were computers, but they were head-to-head.
93.
Okay. And it was funny because it was the first time, because we were used to split screen, right? With the PlayStations and shit. You know, it was the first time I had my own computer screen to myself. And then on the other side of the room, there was him and he couldn't see me when he walked by the hallway. And, you know, where normally if you're playing split screen, you obviously, you know, you can't help but cheat.
So the story for the Doom Dark Ages, that takes place right after the game in the 90s.
Yeah, let me pull up my server quick. Remember, because there was usually every day I'm usually going in and fucking with shit. Incog's still in there sleeping.
Also,
African guy.
The enemies that he fights, they're not demons, they're aliens.
Have you heard of this Starfield?
Starfield?
Yeah.
No.
Fucker, $70. I was looking at it on the thing, but again, I'm getting sidetracked. Shit.
I want to get Ready or Not when it comes to console in June.
Well, that's the Assassin's Creed.
That game looks good too.
They got a new Lara Croft one coming out. And of course, Grand Theft Auto 6. They found here we go. Doom Dark Ages, right? Doom the Dark Ages review for PC.
I love it. Yeah. You can get so many fucking new weapons in the new Doom.
Oh, yeah.
I'm downloading Doom Eternal right now to play that.
Now, I heard one of them were fucking free for a little while on Steam, I thought. Wasn't Steam throwing you a few bones nowadays, trying to get you into the new one?
Yeah.
I think they did that with Halo or some shit like that. No, Half-Life. Half-Life 2 and shit.
Xbox, I think, is finally going to end the console wars because they are going to let PlayStation play Halo.
Well, it says here Microsoft is laying off 3% of all employees. This was 2 days ago. So something's not doing good. And if I'm not mistaken, Xbox is still
Xbox is still owned by Microsoft.
Have you seen the new Area 51 Alienware? I think, dude, I go way back with that. Okay, as far as like before Dell ever touched these guys, Alienware knew how to make $10,000 gaming rigs back in them days, dude. We're going fucking way the fuck back now. And then when Dell got a hold of them, I was like, okay, cool. Their warranty's all right. And then it systematically, I never went back and I built my own from that point on and just motherfucked them up and down until recently with their 5090 build. I'm like, it's the cleanest build I've ever seen. And I think with the 5090 graphics card and all the bells and whistles with 1 year warranty was about $6,000. And that's for the top of the line shit. You rule the roost for at least a year now, right? If not a year and a half, with what the fuck that is. Now, that's just for the computer. Now, do not get any extended warranty. Because if you add, let's say, I want a 5-year bumper to bumper, you just made that a $10,000 computer.
I'm thinking about switching to PC because I run PlayStation 5 right now.
Do you? I do. You may want to hold on to that just still for a little while, because again, now that's again Alienware's flagship. So that's the most. They got some 5070s and shit that are thousands less. but nonetheless, they've got the radiator system set up right. The fucking it by just looking at it, it looks okay. And the price, I think they realize that, hey, we're the laughing stock of the fucking world right now, and we sell overpriced shit. We fuck everyone over. So
Yeah,
I
right.
think this might be redemption. So I would say if you want to fuck around, I would go in on a 50-70 perhaps, maybe even a 50-80. 50-90 is kind of overkill. I wouldn't even do it because I don't do flight sim anymore. But like I used to do flight sim and I'd fly fucking 17-hour flights. Optimal graphics hosting with like 80 other people flying around me. And my shit had to buffer all that crap and fucking, yeah, all sorts of fun fucking shit. So that's, I think, overkill.
Oh,
But Dell does make a good monitor. I'll give them that. That's the only other fucking thing I'll give. Dell makes a good monitor. I'd say a 50-80 on their what they call Area 51. Don't fuck with any of their other systems.
Guess what Sony's developing right now to compete with PC?
Fuck, I don't know, dude.
This thing right here.
I'm good.
The P6.
Fuck, oh, is that, see? Yeah, so that's why I tell you, because see, now that's the problem, is that now my 3090 graphics card is bigger than a PlayStation. It's bigger than an Xbox. It's wider than an Xbox. So you can't tell me that the fucking graphics card inside that fucking Xbox is going to give me the graphicals that I so desire on these freaky monitors and all this shit. Right?
If you watch the new GTA 6 trailer, that trailer is filmed on just standard PS5 graphics, and it looks like a movie.
What I'm hoping for, I'm waiting. Because, see, when this, dude, I'm done, right? The stroke, I get, the fucking fast movements, my depth perception's gone too, right? So, virtual reality goggles, a lot of shit is non-existent right now for me anymore. I'm doing pretty fucking good for a little over a year and a half right now of learning to do with all of this shit, right? But one thing's clear, I'm done with the fucking gaming rigs. I'm no longer building. I'm not in that system anymore. I'm in the Apple ecosystem as far as when I buy a watch, it knows that I've got a tablet. It knows I've got the phone. It knows that it fucking knows everything. And I want to get that fucking square box they call the Mac Mini, and they sell two versions. Now, I want of course, the expensive one, and then I want the docking station that allows me to upgrade the RAM a little bit more. But my goal is to play Grand Theft Auto 6 on this tablet, because this is the brand new Apple with that M4 chip that they're bragging about, can play it. So I said, okay. So, because, dude, I bought a new phone, a new watch, a new tablet, a phone for the wife, gave my wife the old tablet, the old fucking watch. So you're $6,000 into just doing that every fucking 8 years, if you're lucky. $8,000 every fucking to just get rid of this shit and get to keep it working. Not to keep up with the Joneses. Fuck that shit. I'm not buying a new phone every year. It pisses me off that I just got this fucking iPhone 16 and this Ultra Watch 2, and they're already cackling in September. They've got the new shit coming. I'm like, fuck you guys. Stop doing that.
Oh, they're already going to release the 17?
Yeah, they're in September. They're releasing. That'll be the 17. They said that the camera design is going to be across, and then it's going to be thinner. And I'm telling you, this one is thinner than the other one, but it's getting to the point where it's too thin, where like the spring to hold this in place. I mean, dude, if this fucking thing was any thinner, it would fold that motherfucker. The pressure. So my question is that why the fuck are you making it any thinner? Who gives a shit? first and utmost, it's going in a fucking case anyways. I think they make these phones for people in suit and ties that hover around. Like their feet don't even touch the ground. These are ghosts or something. I don't know what the fuck they make these for. Because I don't who gives a shit what color it is? It's going to be in a case 5 seconds after you pull it out of the box. It's in a case. But I can't. Who gives a shit that it's going to be thinner? Who cares? That's stupid. That just means it's going to break in your chest pocket easier. Or
I have a question.
Yes.
For the 16, is it true that the battery life for the 16, you can go up to like 30 hours of battery life?
I don't know. I haven't had it off the fucking charger. I got this fucking charger that it's fucking here. It's yeah. This thing here, dude, this thing rotates it's not plugged in right now, but it'll rotate so that it'll rotate up like
That's
this.
fucking awesome.
So then it sits up here like this, and then when you travel, this is for the watch, right? So this, and then this is for your earbuds.
That's cool as shit.
And then what you would do is just throw this in your fucking to-go bag or whatever, right? And if all you're interested in is charging the phone, you just, again, I got the magnetic casing and shit. The only difference I found is I'm like, what the fuck is this for? And they're like, oh, well, you can make it to easily push it to access your camera or QR reader, right? So I figure, you're always running across these fucking QR codes. Well, if you push this motherfucker, it makes the QR thing come on real quick. And then over here where the power button's at, I'm like, or the volume's up and down, right? I'm like, what the fuck's this for? And they're like, well, if you push it long enough, the fucking flashlight will come on, or you can set it to. I'm like, okay, so really, what else did you do? Oh, there's some more features to the camera. And then I'm like, so I really didn't. I wanted to hold out for the 17.
I got the iPhone 11. This shit is booty.
Oh, Jesus, I can't believe it still works. But so that's the thing. When it's powered up, this thing will rotate down. And when it does it, locks it into place. It keeps it for me to lock it so that I can keep it, pretty much on that view where
Samsung's starting to compete with fucking Apple. They're starting to make these phones that are like
makes the screens for Apple. I'm pretty sure. Last time I looked, I'm pretty sure Samsung makes the screens for for one of the fucking Apple products. You may want to double check that. I'm thinking that they do have their hands in something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really, I was kind of holding out for the 17 because this was the new one with the AI and shit, and it's all kind of, never really fuck with a new model. Is my motto, and I really didn't have my choice because I shattered my 14. So then I'm like, well, fuck, I'm not just going to get that because they're like, well, you can upgrade the wife's and the do. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm like, how much are you giving me for the Ultra Watch turn-in? Nothing. I'm like, well, then fuck, keeping it. And then I'm like, so give me the new one. So this is the Ultra 2. I'm an Ultra collector now. I have the original Ultra 1. This is the Ultra 2. Now, if the Ultra 3 is groundbreaking as far as medical technology, whatnot, or shit, I will buy it. If not, I will wait and then buy it eventually. But I figured it like this. I used to be a watch collector. And some of the watches that I no longer have. Because I saw that, I got a few. But I never fucking wear them anymore. Because I can just switch out the fucking the watch bands. And I started getting into fancy watch bands, like exotic cars that are totaled and destroyed. Before they crush them, they'll pull the leather seats out of them, and they'll make fucking watch bands out of the leather of the seats of these super rare cars. So then, it's this company called Bandworks. I've been fucking with them for years. So I figured this company, what these things cost you, just the guts of it, just the watch without any band is, I'd say $700. Because they get you for $100 for any of their watch bands or that stupid Milanese loop, which was the only one they had left. So that makes it $200 more because it's titanium, right? So I'm like, you fucking assholes. So, but I've got on tried and true watch bands that had the black, because, I was like, okay, this is black, and I've got one that's. And the funny shit is that the oxygen sensor on this one, the judges said, if you want to sell that watch during litigation, during this lawsuit, you have to turn those all off. So my Ultra, it works. On this, it doesn't currently. Once they settle in court and blah, 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 they'll do an update and it will be able to turn on.
Oh, yeah.
But all I do is take this off. As soon as I do and I put the other one on, it knows. It knows that I've taken one off and I put it on. So that's my goal, is to just get into the ecosystem 100%. I do not want Apple. I don't like their accessories. They rape you on that, or grape you, whatever you want to call it. But they overprice you too much. And anything computer-wise, they're just going to give you a 27-inch monitor. And I'm like, no, this is a 43-inch monitor. No, we're not going any bigger, but we sure in the fuck are not going any smaller. I want my own keyboard. I want my own monitors. I want my own shit. I don't want anything other than their little brain. And I don't think it's ready yet. So I'm hoping within the next 5, and I'm hoping this fucking rig stays together. I'll MacGyver the shit out of it for the next 5 years. And that'll give them enough time to make that Mac Mini thing play whatever game my old ass wants to. And the nice thing then is that whatever I do on that computer will transfer to that phone, will transfer to that tablet, will transfer to this watch. So everything is in one spot. My wife knows how, because again, now with the legacy contact. So if I die, she gets a one-time, they take all of my shit in my library and they put it all in her library. And that's it. And then she will designate a legacy contact to, let's say, if we were to have children or our nephews and nieces. Right. And that's what we're doing nowadays in this electronic thing. They're called legacy contacts. Like my buddy has a Steam account. He has thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of games, add-ons, so forth and so on. So when he passes away, he has a legacy contact that he is allowed. And when they put that code in, every game that he ever had is immediately transferred over, and then that account is dissolved. They found it frees up a hell of a lot of space because you got a lot of dead people that still got Facebook accounts and shit like that. And they're like, they got all this shit laying around, and they're like, that's a lot of fucking money. So again, everybody's music is all digital. So that's just how we're doing it now, is we're digitally willing all of our shit. So like, you can, like my car, I got to pay a yearly subscription to make the fucking remote control shit work to make this security shit work, to make it call the police if I get in an accident and get knocked the fuck out. You got to pay
Right.
yearly for that shit, you know?
Oh,
It's, you know, so that's where I was like, that I can see being interesting then. Because that's all of our shit, all my photos, everything's
Yeah, your
digital.
life stockpile, pretty much.
Yeah, everything's digital now. We don't really own anything other than what we want to hear you sound like, what I want what I want to see you on, and then of course the camera. Now, is this a fucking, $5,000 camera? No, it's not even a Logitech. But I read that the camera's good. It's got 4 microphones built into it, and it's got 2 speakers. So the fact that I know I don't sound great on it, and even if I took my fabulous Apple earbuds and shit and got them to work with this computer,
Still doesn't sound bad.
they'd still sound like shit. So once that was another reason to go with the Apple ecosystem. The minute you open up the box and bring the headphones and put them on, whatever thing you're closest to, it knows. So like right now, it would know that, if whatever button I touch, if I touch it over here, you'll see the headphones pop up on here. If I reach over here and touch it, you'll see them pop up here. If I reach over on here, so then the computer would pick up on it too. So that's when people say the Apple ecosystem. So that's what I'm in it for. I don't need the fucking headaches anymore. I got my old tablet near this tablet, and it said, hey, do you want me to transfer all your shit onto this? And it's like, yeah. Do you want me to erase this one when I'm done? Yeah. And it did. It took everything and brought it over, even the music and the songs.
Oh,
it's like, holy shit. I took pictures of it, right? Sitting next to each other doing it, but it's got my real name and shit, so I can't show you those. Because, my name is...
Yeah.
But that shit's entertaining. But 38,000 people thought this camera was better than a Logitech. And for $100, I was like, I need something to talk to my doctors with.
Right.
When I don't have this, because I do, and as well as I do, we see a lot of doctors. The video calls now, I really like those. Usually, you see them once, and then the rest is just,
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, a lot
easier.
And then it's only $10, right? They'll charge the insurance company whatever, but my what you would call copay afterwards is $10. I'm like, fuck yeah, I can deal with that.
Fuck yeah. No, it's made things a lot more convenient for one, yes, but a lot less of a headache.
Well, that's the thing, is that like I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I took the shattered one, and AT&T's like, send it to us. It doesn't matter. We're running a special right now. We'll give you $1,000 for a trade-in. So I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, this thing's fucked up. I'm like, it's like, it's unrecognizable almost. He's like, yeah, no, we'll give you $1,000. He's like, keep the 13. And he's like, the 13 Pro Max, and he's like, use that as your third line. And I'm like, what the fuck do I need a third? And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you're right. Because it puts me in a better package rate to where my monthly bill is cheaper, right? Because I added another line. But then when I broke that phone, I was buying something through Amazon, right? And they went to send the security code, right? Your 2-step verification to the phone. Well, the phone was destroyed, right? And the new phone wasn't going to be here till tomorrow. And once I activate it, then I would get a ton of messages and of course I did. And they're like, hey, if you don't answer us in a few minutes, we're locking you out of your shit. So a third line would have in handy to where
Yeah.
secure shit can get bounced to them. So like,
Oh,
AT&T would have that, because regardless of saying, hey, this watch has its own phone number, they're like, it's still only used to, we can't send a vital security code to just that. I found that out on my Ultra when I tried, because I'm like, okay, my wife's phone was ready to be traded in, but she plays Candy Crush, and it wouldn't matter if I gave her an Atari or a fucking Ferrari. It doesn't matter to her. She don't give a shit about none of that stuff. So I just was like, I'll get the iPhone 14. I'll give you the 13 that I have now. We'll switch the phone numbers. It just sounded easy, but it wasn't, right? So it was
never.
India. I'm calling people in India that, you had to actually go to you had to go to the store, and they're like, oh yeah, no, hold on a minute. Boop, 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 boop. It's like, here, done. Like okay. So yes, we keep that fucking phone now as just a backup. But that's the last phone that actually has the side that opens up and you can put a SIM card in it. The iPhone 14 and onward, as well as their tablets and shit, no longer have SIM cards that you can put in it. They're internal. So you're forced to dealing. So I can't just give you my fucking old phone. You'd have to write down the code, or it's difficult. Pretty much they're forcing you to call them and deal with them. Yeah, or else I'm just, again, the stroke, I still know things, right? When I open up the closet of knowledge and go to grab things, sometimes they're scrambled, right? It's like somebody played a funny joke and said, I'm going to put this over here instead of there. So I'll go to grab it. I'll be like, fuck. So I still get a little off on that occasionally. But I've been told I've done quite well.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't know why I talk so much. I think it's the prednisone. Then I get really fucking high when I just talk. I mean, dude, I'm on hardcore indicas. I mean, I should, in theory, be drooling on myself, but I'm not.
Yeah,
and I'm on a 1 milligram time release Xanax too. So fuck if I know. And this has only happened within the last 3 years. I just know that the health is better, and knock on wood, hand to wood, that it's the worst is done, and I can continue on.
And I feel that, brother. I've been there a couple of times myself. Definitely a couple of fucking times myself.
Yeah, man. You know at an earlier age. That's what sucks. Well, maybe not. Maybe it was better for your eyes to be opened. Mine, it took until I was 54 for my, pardon the pun, but my eyes to be opened.
It's understandable. Shit, there's still things I'm still trying to fucking spin the gears at and trying to get a picture of today.
I mean, I used to do stupid shit. I mean, I'd jump out of airplanes and do fun fucking things like that, I mean, my hobbies were expensive, They weren't golf, but they cost just as much, skis, downhill skiing.
Right.
Skydiving, you don't skimp on shit, when you're especially skydiving.
Right.
I wanted to go back. I wanted to go into the, oh shit. The backpack with the fan, the parasail.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But you can fucking, I mean, you can have a spare, a backup pack, right? I thought about that, fucking around with that around here, but too many high power lines.
Oh, yeah.
I'd definitely be that dumb fuck that'd be roasted up on one of them. So, but I've had fun, I mean.
Hey, I can't blame it. Shit. That's what life's about in the end,
I wonder if kids are going to have beat up bodies. Like when they get to be 55. The only reason why I ask is they don't go out and play the sports. They don't go play the tree houses. They don't go ride around on their bikes that much. Pretty much they're on them video games. Now that will keep them safe, right? They're not like, jumping and, breaking bones, perhaps. I don't know. But I do know that since the invention of hand sanitizer, that people seem to get sick a lot easier. Now, the only point I bring up is that maybe eating a little bit of dirt every once in a while might be good for you.
It heightens the
You
immune
know
system.
what I'm saying? I wasn't a very sickly kid, but if you're, turning everything into a sterilized bubble.
You're right. Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, fuck.
You build a fucking immune system.
Tree houses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
3x4 pieces, just climb up as we go. Just build whatever I want. I mean, dude, I could fall off of shit and it wouldn't bother me. Like over here, my second story garage. Hell, I'd jump off that just to jump into the swimming pool back in the day. I'd jump off the second story one into the pool, the deep end. I used to do fucking stupid shit, man. At the school one, you jump off the lifeguard chair, down onto the one diving board, bounce over onto the next one, and then flip in and go into the water. Fucking doing that.
Hey,
You're fearless as a kid, right? I mean, it was double diamond runs when I'd go downhill. Now, dude, if I went down, you put me up top, right, and told me to go down that, I'd tell you to get fucked and get a helicopter because I'm not going down that. I'll crawl down and shit, but the stuff I did, I had no fear. No fear.
Well, shit. No fear, yeah. Then, how do we say? As we get older, things start to, ache a little bit, and then we're like, "Oh, let's fucking go do it again." Would it be done gracefully?
You fall down, you get up, you dust yourself off, and you continue on. Until I think as you get older, I think you like. I remember one car wreck I was in, and I knew what was going to happen because it was a Land Rover and they're top heavy, and I hit the black ice and I'm like, fuck. And I went sideways as the dry pavement was coming. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like getting ready, right? For it to grab and just lay itself down, and it did. But it went down into a ditch then. It slid down into one of them old farmer ravines, between their field and the road. I think I fucking cleared that, but when I hit the other side, there was no give. It was just a dead stop. And, I smashed into the passenger side, but my little soul was like, I'm getting too old for this shit. Stop.
I don't blame it.
And I didn't do it. I didn't do, dangerous stuff no more. I thought before I did that, but it took that. It was funny. I'm like, hey, to my brother, I said, yeah, come get me. Someone had to pull over and get me. I'm like, hey, can you hold the door open for me while I crawl up and out of it?
Yeah, that
because it was a blizzard. It was really bad. The next
Oh,
day, all
man.
you was 4 little nubs, like this much, sticking out of the fucking snow. That car was totaled. But
Oh, shit.
I never bought another Rover again.
Oh, shit. They sound like they could be fun battery things. Damn.
They don't build them like they used to. That's the problem.
Mm.
And if you don't use them, you lose them.
Yep.
But you figure now the only fucks
Right
that can
away.
buy those fucking Rovers and shit, they're not fucking taking them out in a blizzard. They're not going across country shit, you know.
But no.
It's all push button shit. I'm still pissed Honda can't make a pickup truck. I mean, at least the one that they just released, the Ridgeline, was it the 2026 or whatever? Give me enough money, I could probably lift that fucker like I did my old Jeeps.
Hell yeah.
Lift that fucker up, put some different. It's going to take some money, but at least I could try to make it look like the old Toyota SR5 pickups from the. Yeah, was that the late 80s? I'd have to say no. No. Yeah, 89, 90. That area. That motherfucker just naturally sat tall. And I think it was their pickup truck, Toyota.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little fucking stick shift, little, 4-wheel drive, nothing to shit about. My first Jeep cost me $16,000, fully loaded, the Sahara edition.
Mm.
Beat the shit out of that fucking thing. Fast fucking car or Jeep. What was it? 4 liter.
It's very terrible. It sounds.
I always go out to Colorado every year. My buddies all went to college. I went to college out there for 2 years in Leadville, Colorado Mountain College. They're like, "What do they teach you there?" I don't know. It's still there. That's an adventure all on its own as well. I've got shit tons of stories, but I feel like I've told you enough for this evening.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
So I hope I've taken your mind off of a few shit circumstances. And
So, thank you.
it's been a pleasure. I
It's
will
been brother.
probably see you guys tomorrow.
Of
if
course.
we're all lucky. Later
Hell
on, guys.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Smoke, thank you for coming up, brother. That was a very good set. Yeah, man. Right. And yeah, some very interesting stories we got to hear. Good shit. Yeah, dude. Dude, for real. I'll be honest. Literally, every minute of that was interesting conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That's shit, dude. Oh.
I'm just playing some Doom Eternal. Holy fuck. I got a big old scorpion looking thing on my ass. There it is. Oh, buddy. I forgot how fun Doom is.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever play Doom, Johnny?
Only a little bit.
It's fucking fun. Gotta go. It's basically like a first person shooter, but you're going through like all the different commands of hell. And you gotta fight demons.
Doom? Doom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Doom.
Oh, I'm about to fight my first boss fight. Demonic something, she said her name is. Vega. Search shit first. Imagine Kratos versus Doomslayer. That would be badass.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or Doomslayer versus all the Space Marines.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
The Space Marines are no match for the Doomslayer.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh,
He got hit. The funny thing is, the Doomslayer got his powers from an alien race.
that's it.
They abducted him.
That's it.
Because when it first came out, he was just a normal human.
Oh,
And then once he got abducted by aliens, they put him in this chamber, and it gave him immortality and god powers.
oh.
So now he just roams hell, beating the shit out of everything.
Oh. Lovely. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Ugly little bastard.
He's angry.
Uh-uh. Yeah, regrets issues.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. All the fucking time. Oh, my God.
Cheers, buddy. I love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy. Cheers. Oh,
I gotta get that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gotta get up in 8 hours
yeah.
because I'm going down to Altoona with Zach to look at a bike.
Right on. Right on.
Shit. When I get my motorcycle license and actually learn how to ride the bike properly, I might take a ride out to see you, Johnny, because motorcycles are very good on gas. I could literally ride out to you and back probably almost on a full tank of gas.
Hell yeah.
There's this young artist. He goes by Zeddy Will, and he only does like features on songs and shit. But like, if he would actually take it seriously and stop doing like just doing it for fun, I think he would actually be a very good rapper. Because like some of the lyrics that he puts out is very good.
Hell yeah.
It's just he's just in it to have fun.
Hell yeah.
But if you want to make something your career, you got to take that shit seriously.
Well, yeah, bro. Yeah.
But yeah, buddy. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That one got me, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna hit the hey, Johnny Bond. I love you, brother. Thanks for having me up here tonight.
I feel that, brother. I'm kind of tired myself. No problem, brother. Always a pleasure.
Hell yeah. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
Hell yeah. You rest well, brother. And it's always a pleasure hanging out with you. I love you, brother.
Hell yeah. Rest well. Likewise, brother. Oh, fucking love you.
Love you too, buddy. Tell the family I said hello.
Likewise. Hey. Yeah, man. Stay lit. Stay lifted. Much love, yo. Peace. Oh.